Hello, my name is Navigator. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at G.I. Joe Classified number 174, Kyle Budo Gesso. And I kind of was mincing my words there in the intro, but once again, G.I. Joe Classified Kyle Budo Gesso. This is a figure that I've been seeing at my local Walmarts and Targets, just kind of sitting there. Well, actually, my only, not my Target, but my local Walmarts. And I really wanted it. I was waiting for a decent price on it, and I found a good price for it on Amazon, so I picked it up. And here we have it. This guy is crazy. He has like a bunch of different armor sets almost. So we're going to take a look at all these accessories and try to assemble it as we go along. But with that being said, let's get into it. The first here, we'll take a look at the box. There is the name up there at the top, and then a quick look at the back here. You can see kind of with that like Kyoto background, there is Mr. Budo here in his full regalia. I'm not sure why it's not focusing. It's going to be upsetting if it does that this whole video. But yeah, let's see. Come on. There we go. You can see him there in his regalia. We're going to try to soup him up like that, so we'll keep it turned around. All right. So take a look at the accessories first. He does have this kind of cool, like, I don't know, like straw, or I think it's straw, like shawl, or maybe like some kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Fur shawl. But that is really cool. I love that. And then he also kind of has this like torn neckerchief here, which looks really cool. There's a little bit on the back there, which is really dope, and that's kind of like a maroon red color. We also have this larger sheath for the large sword, and we'll take a look at that right now. I think this is it right here. We have this large sword here, and it's really cool. They put on the hamon there. If you don't know, the hamon is like that little line that is on all katanas. But they have that there. This is a very cool sheath for it. There's a nice little kind of like rope tied around there with some nice detail. And that looks great, so we have that. We'll throw that aside. Speaking of the swords, the other two ones that we have is kind of like a traditional size katana, I would say. So we have that. And then we also have the wakizashi here, kind of the short sword that a lot of samurai held. So we have that right there. What else do we have here? We can get this out of the way. This is kind of just like a little, I think like the neck piece for the armor, just to kind of cover that little gap there, so that would go around the neck. And he does have an interchangeable head. I guess we can look at that, so you do know you can pop the head off easily and swap that out. And this one's really cool, kind of like a more disheveled, longer hair Mr. Gesso over here. And hey, I don't mean to be gross, but I think I need to cut my fingernails. What do you guys think? So, I don't know. Seeing too much white there. We also have this really cool, like, FAMAS styled rifle, and it's got this awesome bipod there, and a front vertical grip, little ACOG sight there, and I believe the Bullpup magazine here should be able to pop out there. So that is really cool. We do have that, and that's an awesome, lot of detail on that. Really cool. G.I. Joe Classified always knocks out of the park with their weapons, and speaking of that, we have the sidearm as well. Just this little kind of extended magazine pistol with a laser sight underneath there. Kind of styled like the 1911 or Glock or something like that, but I don't think that's a legitimate pistol. Maybe if it is, it's like a 3D printed one. I have no idea. The rest of the stuff that we have here before we take a look at the figure is going to be the armor. So we have kind of a smaller, more traditional helmet here. And that way you can just slip on, I think really any head sculpt there. So you have that. And then the really cool, like full-on kind of like Oni type, or like, I don't want to say Ronin, but like Oni demon type mask there. And that is really cool. I love that. That's the one they have in the picture there. And we also have this larger kind of chest piece here for the samurai armor. And that is a really cool look, and that will just kind of drape overhead, and you can plug it in there. And we also have kind of like a waistcloth for it, which is really cool. Two other sheaths for those swords, so we'll pop those in there. Let's try to slide that in. Beautiful. So we have that, and this is just really cool. I love kind of the torn red on there. Looks really cool. And then we also have gauntlets for the arms, and these are red with hints of black. And then the legs as well, and these are black with kind of like this brown rope around them. That looks really cool. Looks very old, very traditional. I'm trying to think, and aside from the figure, that's all the accessories. So let's take a look at Mr. Gesso here himself really quickly, and then we will assemble him. So brown boots with kind of these black, shin pads there. Kind of like a grayish knee pads with green pants there. Little side holster there for that pistol that we showed off here. He does have kind of some underlying armor, which I guess you could soup him up in however different variations you wanted, but he's got a lot going on here. He has another sheath here for that katana if you want to just kind of have him in this armor here. But there's just a lot going on. I'm going to try to highlight it. I don't even know if I can explain all of this. I'm going to try my best to. I'm going to try my best to get it to focus here. Let's see if we can get that to happen. But there's just a lot of pouches and and armor and everything on the gloves. Of course, double jointed knees, double jointed elbows, swivel up the hands and everything. Easily what you would expect with all G.I. Joe figures. I love this like G.I. Joe logo there on the side, which I think is like partially in Japanese. That looks really cool. I really like that a lot. You got, what is it? I think Kyle or Gesso Kyle there on the front of the, come on, it was just in the picture. Yeah, you guys get it there though. Kyle A. Gesso. But yeah, this is really cool. A lot going on. You could plug some stuff in there in the back if you wanted to. But again, I'm having some difficulty focusing, so I don't want to get too in depth with this. And there's that final kind of like Ronin top knot head sculpt here, which looks really great. This is the one that the figure came with. So I apologize for the blurriness, and it's even blurry right now. Come on. Let's bring you back into focus here. Come on, bring you back. There we go. All right, let's assemble him. Let's try that out. So let's start with the armor here. I want to see what the story with this is. I think what I might have to do is pop the hands out, slide this off. Yep. And then this is going to have to go there, which is pretty cool. I do like that a lot. Kind of like the hand guards on this. That looks really cool right there. So I'll try that with the other arm as well. So we'll slide that part off. This part goes on. Put the hand back in there if I can. All right, what's next? Let's try the overhead armor, I guess we can say. We'll split the arms there, pop it out on the side, and this should be able to go over the head. You know, this would actually be really cool for customs. You might be able to, yeah, check this out, guys. So you could pop that out. I know that we have the red armor on there, but this could just be like a basic body, you know, gray shirt, green pants, nothing too crazy going on. This is pretty nice for some customizations if you really wanted to. But we do have that. Let's throw on the leg guards here, and I think, yeah, we can just press these on. We don't even need to like unbuckle anything. And I think those just go over there, right? Or do they go over the thighs? No, they go right down here. All right. So yeah, we can just plug these right on. Let's see if we can get that to happen with this one a little bit easier. Keep it in frame too. Oh, come on. There we go. All right. So there we have the legs right there. That looks nice. I do like that a lot. So yeah, and you could even keep them like this if you wanted to. That even looks cool. And then we will throw on, let's start with the waist area here. That's probably gonna be more difficult if we put the top part on first. So let's do this. And we'll throw him around there. Plug that in on the back. Kind of got to bring it up a little bit to give it space and then bring it back down. So we have that, and that is starting to look really nice. And then we can spread the arms out and hopefully just throw this over top. I don't even know if I'm going to, you know, plug it in completely. But let's see. We'll take the head sculpt off. Yeah, it's going to make our lives a lot easier. All right. Beautiful. And there we go. I think for the most part, that is it, folks. Beautiful. And that would kind of just wrap around there, maybe vice versa, something like that. I'm not going to plug the whole thing in. I just want to give you guys just the picture of it. And then what should I do? Let's do the kind of the warrior head sculpt on there and see if that works with this helmet. Does it? Maybe not. Will it work with this? Can you take the top knot out? Oh my gosh, you might actually be able to. Can you? Can you pop that out? Oh my God. You can take out his top knot on this head sculpt. That's hilarious. All right. So we'll pop that out. And we will throw this head sculpt in there. And then, boom. And yeah, I know I could throw the cowl or the cape on, but guys, this is really cool. Probably the quintessential, although it is pretty modern, the quintessential samurai figure. I mean, all the armor, all the accessories, all the swords, even the guns too. I mean, heck, this guy must have, whoever made this figure did recently watch The Last Samurai or something like that. But guys, this was a review of the G.I. Joe Classified number 174, Kyle Budo Gesso. Definitely a lot more to this figure than I thought. So once again, we'll take a quick look at him. That just looks so cool. I love that, and I cannot wait to add him to my G.I. Joe collection. Cannot recommend this figure enough, and I won't waste any more of your time. As always, my name is Navigator. Have a nice day. Take care.